Okay, good morning. Welcome to Yeshiva YouTube, Nedarim Daf Vav number 6. The Gemara has a question on top of Amam Beis, Bayra Papa Yesh Yad Kiddushin Olo. Is there Yad for Kiddushin or not? Now, the simple explanation, I'm saying it's simple because that's what the words seem to indicate. Is there a parsha of Yados by Kiddushin? We know from Daf Gimel that by Nedarim, by Nazirus, theoretically like Karbonos, because Karbonos, your makish, you make a neder according to the Rush, only by comparing the neder to a carbon. So there's a parsha of Yados by Karbonos, as is clear from the bottom of Avam Beis. There is a parsha of Yad by Karbonos, parsha of Yados by Nedarim. A partial statement of neder makes a neder. A partial statement of Nazirus makes a Nazirus by Kiddushin. Like the Gemara says, when you're say to a woman, Harem Kedeshli, and another woman standing nearby, and then you add on Va'at. So that's a Yad, right? A partial statement to the second woman. Is that Kiddushin? Obviously, you gave her money also. Otherwise, you can't be Mekadesh B'Dvarim with words. You gave her a pruta also. So you gave her a pruta, and you said Ba'ad. And you just said to another woman, Harem Kudesh at least. So therefore, as I explained, probably the Gemara is going according to the opinion of Rava, who we hold like that Yadayim, you need Yadayim Mochicho. So the fact that you just said Harem Kudesh to another woman, you said Ba'ad to a second woman, and you gave her money. So therefore, it's an Umdun of the Muchach. Therefore, it's good enough proof. It's Yad Mochiach. The question is there a parsha of Yados, right? Is the parsha of Yados make it a Kiddushin or not? The question is in the din in the Lashon, right? The reason you need the Torah to tell you that Yados Nedarim Nedarim Yados Nedarim Kaziris is because, like the Gemara says, by Nazirus, you have to have a clear expression in order to Makabal Nazirus. A neder is also from your dibur, from your words. You have to make a clear expression. So Kiddushin also, the word Kiddushin, like the Gemara says, the lashon of Kiddushin is that you asered this woman like a piece of hektish, akulei alma. She's mutter to you, and she's aser akulei alma like hektish. That's why the Gemara calls it Kiddushin. It's not just a kinyan, the Gemara says on Bezon and Daf in Sachas Kiddushin. She's like hektish. She's like a korban. So therefore, therefore, there's a concept of yados that a partial declaration, is it considered a full declaration or not? Because your words are very important. The Gemara in the beginning of Kiddushin talks about you need a Nesina to give her money, and you need an Amira. You need to say something also, right? The Gemara says, what is Amira without Nesina? Nesina without Amira. But it's clear you need Amira over there. So what's the Gemara's question over here? Yeshal Kiddushin, yeah, Kiddushin. Seemingly, right? The Gemara really doesn't answer the question. So if it's a Yad Mochiach, and according to everybody, Rava holds Yadayim Mochiach as having Yadayim, so why shouldn't there be a Yad over here? So I'd like to go back to the machlokas between Rav and Abaye on Hamad Beis. I explained yesterday, and I talked about two different types of Nedarim. There's a neder where it just creates an Isser, and there's a neder where it creates a Dinei Mamonis over here, like Hektish, like a Korban. When you're makdeh something to the Beis HaMikdash, it becomes Mammon of the Beis HaMikdash. And Nedarim do not become Hektish. They don't become property of the Beis HaMikdash. Maybe there is Me'ilah. I'll have to explain how there is Me'ilah. However, it has financial ramifications that it actually, and that's why you need proof. Yadayim Mochichos. Rav all Yadayim Mochichos. So that Machlokes that Abaye and Rava is talking about Nedarim and Nazirus. Nedarim and Nazirus, right, are Nazirus. It's all learned from Nazirus. Nazirus, the Torah used the word Kodesh. And by Kodesh, I've explained many times that it's a different type of Isser Hana. The hair of a Nazir is Kodesh. Right, Kodesh means that you have to savor it, you have to use it in the right situation. It's more than just not benefiting from something. You have to use it b'kedusha, separate it, not benefit from it in the wrong way, only benefit from it in the right way, and it's sort of sanctifying it for its financial purposes. It's a higher form of sanctification than just a regular Isra Hana. So therefore, I explain Machlokas between Rav and Abaye, and Rava says, the reason Rava says you need Yadayim Mochichos is because a Yad She'enamo Muchach is only a Chazaka. To be Motzimo, you need a proof. So therefore, you need Yadayim Mochichos. So here by Kiddushin, the Gemara's question is as follows. The Gemara's question is, yes, we pass on like Rava. Rava says you need proof over here. But what is Kiddushin? Is Kiddushin the same thing as as Nazir? Right? It is the word Kiddushin. You need an Amira. You need to be Makdish to the woman, sort of, to Asher Kol Yam like Hektish. Is Kiddushin, the idea of Kiddushin, is it, I mean, you're not really, you are Kohen of the woman in a certain sense, right? You are, by a Kohen who marries, Kinyan Nafro, Kinyan Kaspo. The Gemara calls when you're Makadesh woman, it's called Kinyan Kaspo. It's a Kinyan. You're Makna her, you're Kona her. You acquire the woman. So by Kiddushin is the concept of Kiddushin, assuming like the Ran that you can have a neder just of Isser. That's what I'm assuming all along in order to understand these 2 degrees of Yados over here. And Rav would be modeh that. Rav would say that even Yadayim Shem Mochichos, by when it's just an Isser, or an Isser Hana, without the aspect of sanctification, then that would, because the Chazaka is good enough. Yadayim Shem Mochichos would be good enough. So here also, when by Kiddushin, is the concept of Kiddushin like Nazir, the Sarah of Nazir, which is Kodesh? Or is the word Kiddushin lav dafka, right? They gave it the name Kiddushin also because it's similar to Hekdesh, but at the end of the day, it's not really like a korban. Kiddushin is just another concept of Isser v'Heter over here, right? That's Kiddushin. It's Isser v'Heter over here. It is called, Kiddushin is called Davar Shebe'erva. And the Gemara is Makish, Davar Shebe'erva to Mamon, right? Davar. We learn they need Shtei Edim for Kiddushin or not, but even though we have a Hekesh, we learn by Mamadis, you need 2 witnesses for Edus, for proof. By Kiddushin, it's not so clear you need 2 Edim for proof. Maybe it's just you need 2 Edim in order to give it legitimacy, to make it a strong act, but not necessarily for the proof of aspect. We'll talk more about that in other Masechtas, but it's not so clear that Kiddushin is Dinei Mamis. Maybe it's also Isser Heter. So if it's Isser Heter, so then Rav would be Modeh. Rav would be Modeh, Yadayim Shei Mochichos, having Yadayim. He's Modeh in that case, having Yadayim. And then we'd explain the Gemara over here, where the Gemara is saying Ba'at, right, is when the Gemara says, you say, Harei M'Gdeshli, and you say to another woman, Ba'at, right, and you give her money, presumably, like the Rishonim say. So the question is over here, is there Ya'ala Kiddushin? Do we assume that Kiddushin is like Dinei Mamonis, right? It's a type of Kedusha, which is like, which gives it sanctification, which gives it a financial aspect over here, and you need Yadayim Mochichos. And the Gemara now is Mechadish that you don't have Yadayim Mochichos over here. You don't have. We thought, we're talking now with explaining Va'at, and you give her money, the circumstantial evidence is sufficient to be called a proof. I'm saying now it's not a proof, it's an assumption. So is it Kiddushin that it's really like Kedusha, like a korban, and therefore it's financial implications over here also, and you need Yadayim Mochichos? Or is it just Isser v'Heter by itself, and therefore when you say Ba'at, which even though it's a Mochichos, Rav is Modeh, Yadayim Shei Mochichos, having Yadayim, when it comes to things which are just Isser v'Heter, this would be going according to the Ran's explanation. You could have a neder, even though it's not Hukish the korban, even though it's not an aspect of Kedusha, it's just an aspect of Isser v'Heter. That's the way I'd like to explain the Gemara over here. I hope you enjoyed today's share. See you in the next one.